Oats.
According to Google, we've all got about 72.6 years to live. So at the end of the day, when thinking about that, you're going to want to start thinking about the important questions in life, such as, what silly-ass 60-hour JRPG should I be playing? Should I be moving out of my parents' house? Well, lucky for you, I'm here to answer both those questions for you. This is The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. So how long will it take you to play this game before you know if it's for you or not? 13 to 15 hours. This is a rather long game. It took me about 41 hours to beat, and apparently on the internet people are taking about 60 hours to beat the game. Not really sure how. But doing almost every side quest that isn't hidden, that's how long it took me. But that's how long I think it'll take for you to see most of what the game offers right up front. That is, of course, considering that you're not dicking around with the fishing minigame the whole time. Luckily, this game includes what's called a boost mode that speeds it up for you whenever you have to walk 10 miles to find someone's cat, but we'll get to that.
Oh, God.
Visuals. This game is a ported PS Vita game, and honestly, it looks like it. These games aren't going to win any awards for graphical quality or art design, and that's what I think holds the game back the absolute most. From the outset, you've got these generic-ass anime designs of people that have way too much hair, and if you remove the differences in hair color and eye color, there would just be very little to tell them apart. It's just kind of uninspired. That being said, the visuals are pretty clean on PS4 and PC. There aren't many terrible textures, it runs buttery smooth, and this is essentially a bug-free game. The combat visuals and particle effects are satisfying enough, and the animations are relatively good across the board, but at the end of the day, if you end up liking this game, the visuals do get better as the titles progress. Sound.
Rest in peace.
God damn, the sound. Well, I mean, the sound effects are nothing to write home about, but let's get that out of the way. They do the job and they communicate effectively. But the real star of the show is the quality of the English voice acting. Now, it's not the Last of Us level, but for a JRPG, the voice actors here take the writing and know when to be subtle, when to be believably emotional in situations where it makes sense.
All we have done as is our sovereign right. The Imperial hand may be firm, but it is fair.
It has some over-the-top moments and that kind of anime breathing shit that's par for the course. But coming from a game like Persona 5, where literally everything is an event and a half for every character, the acting here lends to a believability that you seldom see in JRPGs, let alone RPGs in general. And I cannot forget the soundtrack. This game has no right to have a soundtrack as good as it does. You've got the calm, wistful stuff. You've got these slappin' battle songs that range from this to fucking this. And then you have my favorite track, Doing Everybody's Chores After School by the guy from Persona 3. Gameplay and story. You end up playing as Rean Schwarzer Anime Dude, a guy totally lacking any spatial and mental awareness at the beginning of the game. He is a student that joins Thor's Military Academy Class 7, which is a special class designed to be a social experiment that mixes people of varying nationalities, financial, and familial classes, and half of them have a dead parent for some reason. This is where a lot of the interesting interactions and character development occurs. We have a son of one of the ruling leaders in the noble class of society. We have a commoner whose ties to the government leadership conflict with the interests of the nobles. We have a non-combative student whose family comes from a military background, being essentially forced into the military academy. One of them is Native Indian archetype. And one of them is heir to a weapons development company responsible for keeping foreigners in check with a big fucking gun. So you end up going on these field studies and learning about the world through the eyes of not only the students in Class 7, but through the eyes of people directly affected by the separation of the classes, the government policies, and militarization of the country. The interactions and the growth of these characters is what makes the game's character dynamic so interesting. It ain't all good though. I will say this right now, and everybody said it before, this game's story is an absolute slow burn and a half. It takes its sweet time dumping exposition on you like they're trying to introduce you to the new Metal Gear. I mean, they're trying to have you learn the ins and outs of the world so you can better understand the impact when the shit hits the fan. So basically what I'm saying is its pacing is slower than Joe Biden formulating coherent thoughts.
That turn blonde in the sun.
What did you say?
However, if you can get invested in the characters themselves and the arcs that they go through, that's the real meat of this pie, and as the games go on, it becomes something real special. So when it comes down to the actual gameplay, you've got the combat, and you've got the overworld exploration, and the persona-like bonding stuff. The overworld exploration can get boring, but luckily the game does include a special button so you can do this. Now combat in this takes the standard turn-based JRPG style, and dare I say it makes it actually fun. So the whole game isn't just buff, debuff, kill shit and move on. This game can fucking kick your ass if you're not careful. The main customization you have are what are called orbments, which allow you to customize your character and develop them into really anything you want. There is no wrong way to play this game. You also have these after-school segments where you develop the bonds between your characters, yada yada yada, and it actually affects how many abilities you can use when linking the two together in combat. The final component to this puzzle is character placement. This is the least important, but it allows you to strategically place each character in the most ideal spot. Let me give you an example. You can make a very tanky character with a lot of HP and defense, and when he attacks, he gains combat points and charges up one of his special moves. You can have him be constantly healed and protected by another character that is linked with and bonded with. So let's put that guy in front. You can develop that linked character to not only heal very well, but also evade attacks, so that nobody can touch them. And if they do evade, they go in with a counterattack. Now we put that chick in the back so they can be out of danger. That's only one of the ways you can do it. You can have 4 characters on there at a time, so there are dozens of combinations and they pretty much all work, which is a testament to how dynamic and fun the combat loop really is. Or you can just do this. So, should you play this game, or should you stop evading your taxes? That is a question, and this game and its sequels can be an investment. Its art and graphics aren't very compelling, but at the end of the day, it more than makes up for it with its surprisingly mature storytelling, and is one of the first times where I actually look forward to combat in a JRPG. I think this game is worth your time. I'm sure Uncle Sam will understand. 4 out of 5. Definitely worth your time.